if I'm an NFL GM, I am staying away from Michael Penix for two reasons. Number one, the obvious. He played very, very, very scary. He threw everything drifting back. He never stepped into any throw. He was unwilling to take a chin shot and make a throw, which you're going to have to do in the NFL that don't even hit the quarterback in the face, by the way. And he's drifting on everything, throwing it away. And then the second part of it is if you watch his throwing and release in his platform, it kept getting lower, lower, and lower as the game went on. That means he was trying to get the ball out quicker. And when you try to do quick things and rush it at quarterback, guess what you do? You start to from
inefficient,
here,
no accuracy.
You go from here, and then you go from here because you can get the ball out quicker, right? I'm going to boom, boom, boom. He was scared as a hoe in church. And I don't understand who did not see that last night as a GM or a head football coach in the NFL. And I have to say, he would have felt a lot last night. Number one, he's older. We already knew. That's why he kind of was dropping anyway. Number two, injury prone. And it's not a good look. Whoever his coaches and team is, meaning his team off the Washington field, meaning his agent, publicist, his PR team, his crisis management team, which they all get now, can't walk off, dog.
I want to read.
You can't walk off the field after the game in the tunnel crying and holding your rib, homie. You, as soon as that game ended and the quarter ended, the game was over. Shake hands, tough your pain out, get your ass in that locker room and go to doing all that. You are interviewing for a first-round draft pick stock. And people don't get it. I don't understand how cats around him saying, listen, dog, hey, don't show that shit on TV. You got to get out of here. Like, this is a thing I used to teach it to my guys. How is it? And how am I that far ahead of a guy that's making millions of dollars and got an agent that can't tell this kid, don't get on camera and act like this? NFL guys are like, damn, homie, it's football. You that hurt? You that sore? You that messed up? You showing everybody how soft you are? It's a bad look, dog, for Michael Penix. And I like the kid. I like what he did. I like what he did all year long. Just 2 weeks ago, we were saying how he's the best thrower of the football.
Looked amazing. But I always say this, JB, and this is the defensive of the side of me and the defensive lineman player that's still within me, man. You could be a great quarterback, great thrower of football, but everybody is great till they get punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a defensive lineman, man, we've seen the all-time greats get pressure put on them, even at the highest level. We've seen the Bradys, we've seen the Mahomes, we've seen the Peyton Mannings. You start putting a ton of pressure on them all game long, and I'm not going to say they fold per se, but they look different. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make quick reads and get the ball out on time and accurate when you're getting hit. And even the times you don't get hit, but you get touched on your shoulder. It makes you nervous. It makes you jittery. It makes you uneasy. You don't know what. And I told you yesterday, I know Utah had a good defense, but they're not Michigan. You know, so you kept saying that Michigan hasn't seen the offense like Washington. Washington hasn't seen a defense like Michigan. And we know defense wins championships, and that's why I was rocking with them. And the D-line performed better than I even thought. Like, they were getting pressure all night. I saw their nose tackle had a sack where he straight just bullied the center or the guard actually just bullied him, threw him on the ground, threw him on his back, got the sack. I said, oh, man, it's going to be a long night.
Hey, let me cut you off. Let me give you insight on a quarterback. So if you're a quarterback and as a coach, if I'm coaching Michael Penix, I love when I hear the announcers after the game say, Michael Penix didn't get sacked really, but, he felt the rush all game. That's bullshit. I used to teach my quarterbacks, make them sack you. I don't want to hear a regret after the game that I didn't get sacked, but I fucking rushed every single throw, falling away, drifting away, looking like a scary little girl because I wouldn't step in there and take one. You have to stay in the pocket and get sacked if that's what it is. If your O-line's getting beat that bad, guess what? You shouldn't know it anyway, Smitty. You should be eyes downfield, reading the progression, reading the coverage, and taking shots, but making throws. And you saw the corner route on 4th and 1. That was a touchdown. He missed them. You saw the pick that he threw. I don't know what he was doing. You saw the crossing route when he stepped up in the pocket. He was so scared. The ball's 5 feet over the guy's head, wide open. Those are because you won't step in the pocket and drive your front foot, climb the pocket, take a chin shot, and take a sack. You may have to get sacked, Big Smitty. Like, look at this. Like, that is what you need to do. If you're getting sacked like that, then you know, okay, now, hey, coach, how about we sprint out or something? How about we do some other things? But he got sacked what? 1 time? 2 times? The whole game? But he was taking shots after shots.
It felt like more. Yeah, it felt like more.
It felt like more, but he wasn't. He wouldn't get rid of the ball on time, or he wouldn't step in there and take the shot and say, dog, those were the best games for me. When I used to stand in there, deliver the ball, take a shot simultaneously, bow, and after the game, we won the game, I threw for a lot of yards or a lot of touchdowns or whatever it may be. And afterwards, dog, the soreness was worth it. His soreness is for naught, Big Smitty. Today, he is the sorest quarterback in America for nothing. For no reason. If he would have stepped in there and threw that ball on the 4th down for a touchdown, which it would have been like a 60-yard backbreaker. And guess what? Defenses slow down, Big Smitty. As you know, if a motherfucking quarterback keeps hitting us, he keeps hitting us. We're like, oh shit, let's try to slow down a little bit and get in front of this dude because he's slanging a bit. No, you are the sorest quarterback today for no reason. Shouldn't even went out there.
I hear you, man.
I'm joking, but I'm just saying, like, he wasted
opportunity
of a lifetime that you'll never get back to me.
Nah, I mean, I hear you, but I think sometimes you got to go through those experiences to learn, to know next time how to adjust. If you haven't been through that all year and you barely been getting touched all year, your O-line's been protecting pretty well all season. Offense has been explosive all year. And then out of nowhere, boom, you go out here and you face prime Mike Tyson, you know, like it might throw you off a little bit. It's like, man, I didn't expect to be getting hit and rushed this much. So again, I don't think it's a huge indictment on the cat. I mean, we still see his skill set. I just think we see that, okay, he still has some work to do. He still has some learning to do. Same thing we saw with Caleb Williams this season. And, you know, there's multiple games where his O-line wasn't that good either. He's getting pressured and he's making bad throws and rushing. I don't know. I guess for me as a defensive player, and maybe I'm biased, but I just see a lot of quarterbacks when the D-line is putting pressure on them, whether they're actually getting the sack or not, even they're just hitting them or being in their presence. I've seen them play bad. I mean, you think about the two, not to switch gear, but you think about the 2 giant Super Bowls where they beat the Patriots both times. They were not supposed to win those games. Why did they win? Primarily because of the defensive pressure they're putting on Tom Brady and how they were limiting him. And he's the GOAT. That's the greatest. And Tom will stay in there and take a hit, of course. I'm not comparing him to Penix. I'm just saying even the greatest of greats, sometimes like you put a lot of pressure on them, it just throws you off. As a quarterback, there's only so much you can do. If your O-line is not giving you a lot of time, I mean, you could be the toughest cat in America, but you still need time to read, operate, give your receivers time to get at the top of their routes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a team thing. So of course he's gonna take pressure because he's the leader, but we got to put some blame on the O-line too. Like I feel like we're giving him a pass right now.
I gotta go against all the things you just said because here's the reason. Washington won the #1 O-line award in the country over Michigan. I don't know how they got that.
They probably shouldn't have.
The Joe Moore Award. So, but he got the award. That's why I tell you these awards are bullshit. Well, anyway, they got the award there. #1. #2, totally against the reason of you got to learn. This is that you got to go through it, debate and take that you just made from Penix. Here's why. This is a 24-year-old who's been at 3 colleges. If you haven't gone through it by now, Smitty, you ain't never getting through it. He played in Indiana. He already played Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. And now he goes to Washington and is up for what? Every award there is, and he still has to learn more? You're not learning more at 24, dog. Just keeping it 100 with you, not going into the NFL. He already had his window. There is no more, I got to go through it and take this beating to get it. He's already taken those beatings. He was in a ball game I watched specifically, and they could have beat Ohio State, and he was balling. And then he choked in the Ohio State game late. Ohio State won a close game. Kevin Wilson was at Indiana at the time, and they lost because he choked late. And this was when he was 20, what? 20?
Right.
Even 20 nowadays is kind of old. You've already been out of high school 2 years. He's been out of high school for 5-6 years. Like, there's NFL guys in the NFL that are starting in the NFL that are younger than him right now. And we're not giving those guys no passes that they have to go through the we can't tell Justin Fields, he got to learn. He got to go through it. And everyone's over it already, right? Because they're trying to replace the dude. I think they should keep him, but I'm just saying. They're replacing the guy. Let's get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. I think you got it or you don't. I love the kid. I like the kid. I think he has a lot of trials and tribulations he's going to go through here. And I don't know if his stock didn't flounder last night.
I mean, should the cat still get drafted? I mean, you talking like after what you saw, he shouldn't even get picked up no more.
Well, you know how I feel about the quarterback, but nah, he's going to get drafted. We know that. But I think all I'm stating is that he dropped tremendously, in my opinion. Now, maybe someone takes him high still. Just by watching him last night, not showing up for the big dance and shying away from contact in the biggest stage is just a telltale sign, dog. It's just a telltale sign. At 24 years old, Big Smitty, I know firsthand. I was 24. I was playing. I just got into the Arena League, I believe. I just got cut. I got to the Arena League. I went over to Europe. And I'm the guy in the pocket, like telling everybody, like talking shit, like, motherfucker, you ain't hurting me. I'm standing in there taking shot after shot because it's like I'm the mature older guy.
Right.
And he showed a lot of things. I don't know, Bailey, if you could find some of the things he was shying away from, but he was shying away bad. Like if you watch one of the balls, he did this shit after he threw it and did that shit. And I'm like, what?
I think once his rib got hurt, I think it was a wrap. I don't know if it was a bruised rib. I don't know if the reporters came out yet or what exactly it was, but he was not trying to get hit in that rib no more because I don't think he could take the pain.
Look at him drift. Look at him drifting as he's avoiding contact. Dog, I know there's a hot guy over here. This is where you step up into the line of scrimmage. Like, he's drifting away on everything, and I'm like, damn. He looked a lot older than 23, 24 years old last night, I guess is my point. He looked a lot older, like he hasn't played since he was 20. See, I was an older cat. I had gone through some shit, right? I went to jail. I did young, dumb shit. I come back to JUCO at 21. I got a daughter already. That's how I looked right there. I haven't played in 3 years. I'm rusty.
Right.
He reminded me of a guy that hasn't played in 3 or 4 years going into that game last night when we just saw him a week ago dropping bucket shots on Texas. Boom, 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 boom. And everybody's like, this is the best quarterback. He got snubbed in the Heisman and blah, blah, blah. How quick a times change.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He fooled you. Like, you picked Washington and had money on because you like, shit, I just feel like they ain't seen no offense like that. Michael Pitt's going to slice and dice him. And then a week later, boom. So like that's what I'm saying. I just think sometimes we get we overblow stuff, like whether it's in a good way or the negative. It's like we see one great game, he's the best thing we've ever seen. One bad game, this guy shouldn't even be drafted. I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying that's how dramatic we can be sometimes, especially on social media. I still think the cat's a hell of a quarterback. I still think he's one of the top quarterbacks in this draft.